being adjusted to.
And it is time for another episode of Grateful Gratitude with LoLo and Lexie, and I'm looking forward to today's topic because we're going to give advice to our younger selves.
Yes.
Awesome.
And when we decided to talk about this, we thought about you, Mark, because we thought you would be a good one to tell us about your younger self. But
Because Lexie has no advice to give. Is Lexie
No,
gonna,
I do.
Are you giving advice to your little 11-year-old Lexie or what?
Yeah, actually.
or even high
Or-
school, like
Because you're only
Or
like
even
19 years old, right?
7-year-old
Oh,
Lexie. No, I'm 24.
Come
But
on, she got a baby and everything. So.
I have a lot of advice to myself, my younger self.
So what's the first thing you would tell your younger self?
Not to compare so much.
Ooh, good one.
That is a good one.
I've always been someone that compares and worries about how others perceive me, and I still struggle with that today. But learning to do things for myself, not for anybody else or for anyone else's acceptance. That would be my biggest piece of advice.
That's a good one. I think I would tell myself, and I think everybody would say this, not to worry so much, because
Oh yeah.
as you get older, you see that you kind of, what you worry about doesn't come to fruition most of the time, and don't get anxious about things you can't control. That's the biggest thing, is I tried to control everything in my life when I was young, everything, and you just can't do that. I mean, you're just living you just frustrate yourself because number one, you can't control others, you can't control situations, and you know, there's a lot of things you can't control, and I wasted a lot of time and energy on that.
Mhm.
See, and mine's a contradiction.
What's that?
Because I would tell younger Friedo to not chase money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would also tell him to care about saving money more.
Oh
No,
my
that's
gosh,
yeah.
that would be
So,
that is a great one.
and so that's more of a worldly type,
Mm-hmm.
thing. But I think a lot of people, and I came out of high school and college, wanted to make my first $1 million by the time I was 30.
And you accomplished that.
And, well, I accomplished the work because I worked my butt off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do that. And then, fortunately, at a younger age, I realized that, hey, it's not all about money. Do something you love and find a way to get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Which is just very generic advice, but it's fantastic advice.
It is.
If there's just no point in being miserable.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to think that your value, even if you're somebody that's not obsessed with money, it's very easy to see with like my age now, to look at like money means where your value is in a sense. You'll be able to live a life you want if you have money, and all of that's true, and you want to be financially stable. But if you're focusing all of your time on it and neglecting other things and family and things, you're wasting your time. That's not what's going to fulfill you. You have to have a balance.
The other thing that I think I would tell myself, and it's something that parents tell you all the time,
Yeah.
and it's something that definitely applies to kids, but my gosh, it applies throughout your life, is choose your friends very wisely. Choose the
Yeah.
people you hang out with very wisely. And it's easy for an adult to say that to a kid
Right.
because, you see how kids are impacted. But you know what? Adults are impacted as well.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Who you're
And-
surrounded by. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying, I've seen, and I think we've talked about it, the remove all the toxic people out of your life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not to that extreme. I'm to the don't let the toxic people impact your life. You
Oh,
try.
yeah, that's
you
good.
need to try and impact
Yeah.
their lives.
Right.
And we've talked about how sometimes getting to that point of being able to be strong enough to not let them impact you is by removing them for a bit out of your life. At least for me, that's what I've had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'm the type that gets influenced by other people. I know I'm not the type to succumb to peer pressure or anything like that.
Right.
But there's no doubt that the way I look back on it is, the people you hang out with influence you, whether you're the type that is influenced or not, just because it's just the environment.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think sometimes God tests us with those people that are negative to try and get us to be better people. But yeah, I think too that I think that Lexie made the point. I think too that kind of love yourself when you're younger. Like I would have told myself,
Don't
Just-
change yourself so much. Don't try to.
And don't worry if you're 10 pounds more than your best friend, because it doesn't really matter. Maybe you're healthy at that weight and they're, it doesn't matter. And
Or I remember when I was younger, for some reason, I wanted to change my name. And I don't know why I wanted to, but I did, like when I was really little. And I remember this because I would go to recess and act like I had a different name every day.
Do you remember the
Weird.
name, or is it a different name?
It was different names.
How
I
old
don't
were you?
know why. I was like 6 or 7. I don't know why I did this. It was probably some coping mechanism. But
yeah, because that would have been a tough time in my marriage.
But I remember just one day, a few years later, not being very old, but that I was like, I actually like my name. Like, it's not that bad. And just like how I had focused so much time on one little thing that didn't matter, I could have spent time loving myself. And I think a lot of us get caught up in the crap that doesn't matter, if that makes sense.
Well, now that you're a parent too, I think when your parent chooses your name,
yeah,
they're choosing something that is emotionally pleasing for them. Like, I named you Lexie because there was a little blonde, blue-eyed girl that just had so much personality, and she just really kind of impacted me when I was pregnant with you.
mm-hmm.
And so when you hear that name, it's a positive,
Right.
and I don't know, I think
Exactly, and I never knew to look at it that way or whatever.
Yeah.
And so but that just shows you how you can focus on the littlest thing.
fixate on it, and
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to share this on a podcast, but I'm going to anyway.
we always do. Go ahead.
Because I wanted to change my name too when I was like 4 and 5 years old.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why, I wanted to change my name to Brian Medicine.
Brian Medicine.
Just
Yes.
because?
Just, I have no idea.
I don't know. You have to get in the mind of a 4-year-old. I guess.
Yeah,
why
that's
that was.
true. Yeah.
Medicine's a big word for.
That's
4-year-old.
so
Maybe I
funny.
took a lot of medicine or something, I don't know.
No, something must have impacted you to think that was
Yeah.
a good thing.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I may still do that.
Now I have a question for you because
Oh,
you're
is that because I'm old?
no, it's because you're a twin, right?
Yes, I am.
So in a sense of that, does that impact what we're talking about? Like as far as being yourself and kind of having your own identity and living your own
I think
self?
you get a lot more mileage if you talk to my brother
Really?
about this, because I was always very secure with myself.
Gotcha.
And I was always very cocky, especially when it came into my own house,
Yeah.
because I was always one step ahead of my twin.
They always say
Fortunately-
there's a dominant twin and
Well,
in a sense,
you know
like
what?
alpha, like the type
I
A
think
personality.
He's more of a type A personality.
Oh, really?
But my whole mission was just to stay one step ahead,
Different.
whether it was school, whether it was athletics or whatever. I just wanted to stay one step ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was overly secure as a kid, as far as who I was. I mean, I would run around the
That's
house.
great.
I was a jerk. I would run around the house chanting, "I am the king." Muhammad Ali was
Yeah.
one of my favorites, so I was always the champ, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was. I
Yeah.
mean, but as far as personalities go, he was a lot more type A and dominant. I just waited for the game to come to me for the most part, but
Right.
when I needed to exert
But
my,
it is
my
interesting how you
confidence,
can
I
be,
would.
how you're still so different. That's a
Mhm.
good thing.
I mean, and to the point where Lexie, he was 6 minutes older than I was.
Oh,
Than I
really?
am. And I would look at him and
That
say,
motivated you to be more.
well, and he would always, just like I'm sure it happens all the time. I'm the oldest. I'm the
Yeah.
oldest.
Yeah.
And I would look at him and say, you know what happened is, you were born and God looked down and said, God, I gotta fix this.
Oh
fix
my
this.
gosh.
Or you were the
Yeah.
rough draft, I was the final copy.
Oh my gosh.
Type stuff like that.
But that is something I've noticed, that a lot of twins, when you see them either on TV and they're introduced, or you meet them, one always says, "I'm older. I'm 2
Yeah.
minutes older." It's
It's
almost
because
like
that
a dominant.
It is a big deal to the older one.
Well,
It
and
is.
it's an identity thing. It's about, because people lump twins together like you're the same person, whether it's because if you're identical or if you're not.
Lexie, you're too young to be this smart. You're absolutely right.
but I mean,
Yeah.
it's true. It's what people, when you don't know any better, that's just what you think. when you
I
look
chose
at
my
them.
college because he ended up going to the same. He was good. He got accepted to North Texas about 6 months after I did.
Mhm.
And when he decided to go to North Texas, I switched schools real quick because of
Right.
anything. I've been a twin for 18 years. I didn't want to.
So you were
college.
you were secure, but still you were making decisions based off that
Yeah.
to have your own identity.
And
Interesting.
But yeah, I was always in school comparing yourself to others, and
Yeah.
that just, if I did compare myself to others, I felt better than them anyway. I felt, and
But that's
you know,
how you
it
cope
was
with it, and
probably
that's
false.
good. Well,
but-
that's good than being very insecure, but also you don't want to, there's a balance with it. I
Yeah,
think.
but I bet we both could look back and know that Mark Friedman's in our class.
Yeah.
The cocky, one, the cocky, confident ones, you know.
No, I mean everyone's.
That's not a bad
different.
thing, though, you know, because
That's
they're
what I'm
usually the
saying.
most popular.
Well, okay,
I-
let me tell you what, and this is like a counseling session.
Okay,
Okay,
Yes,
It's like
it
we're yelling
is.
now.
I know.
So
Sorry.
we're now-
because I was at home,
Mhm.
I was very cocky. At school, I was very confident, and I didn't care if anyone talked to me. So I didn't go out, and that's why I say he was more type A and outgoing, because he was a lot more outgoing, but I was a whole lot more confident, because if we were in the same class, I wouldn't care if you talked to me or not.
Yeah.
I was my
Yeah.
own best friend,
Yeah. Well.
and I'd have been too nervous to talk to Lexie.
Oh well. Thanks. I don't know about that, but I think I don't know. What was I gonna say? Oh, but I was gonna say that now that I have a child, like I joke all the time that he's a strong-willed child. I can already tell, and he has his moments where he is very, very strong-willed, and I joke about what side he got that from. I think he got it from both sides. But I actually said the other day I'd rather him be that way than, because of how tough the world is. I'd much rather him be strong-willed and have an opinion or whatever, cocky, even though you don't even know what you're talking about because you're 5 or whatever the deal is, than to feel like he's ganged up on or things like that.
Well, but you've said
as
it
a-
in the past few podcasts. You've said
Yeah.
this, that you got to take care of yourself first.
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially in a world like this. But anytime.
If you've got a good, healthy outlook on yourself, that's going to make everything else a lot
Exactly.
easier.
Yep.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Where can you find us?
You can find us everywhere at Grateful Gratitude. Our YouTube channel, Grateful Gratitude. Facebook is Grateful Gratitude. Our blog is gratefulgratitude.net.
Instagram is Grateful Gratitude 11. But other than that, you can pretty much find us anywhere at Grateful
Just
Gratitude.
find us at one place and you'll link to another.
Yeah.
So.
Great. We'll talk to you next time.
Perfect.
That's hilarious.
Is that good?
Yes.
I like when you